Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Catch a Glimpse podcast. We are here on our second episode. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
I thought we were done on the first one, to be honest.
Right. Who thought? Who would have thought we were back here for a second episode? Cool. On that note, just some introductions back to who we are Keaton, Frankie, and Ryan, joined by a special special guest today, Aminee Hoff.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Catch a Glimpse podcast.
Welcome.
What an honor to be here.
We are Glimpse. We are a YouTube channel, organization, film company. Our specialty is content creation. Let's be
Soon to
honest.
be, clothing brand
Soon to be
extraordinaire, name that you can't get out of your head.
Soon to be Kohl's department store.
Walmart. They're banging right now, so.
True. Eden, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. If you do not know, we are filming an ice cream video right now, which actually
Right.
by the time that this comes out, it will be 2 videos ago. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure to do that. But we are only eating ice cream for 24 hours.
At this point, I'm feeling very icky.
Yeah, the faces that we're putting on right now, we might seem happy in light, but we're feeling not it.
Gross.
That's
But
just a
trust
sugar
me,
rush.
we are not fake.
Yeah.
No, yeah, literally.
What we're doing right now, we do enjoy. So don't worry
Yes,
about that.
absolutely. We love being here. Anyway, let's get to the special guest here today. Aminee Hoff, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you for asking.
For those of you who don't know, Aminee's my girlfriend.
This is
so we're
true.
gonna be pretending we are co-stars, co-workers today.
I have never met you in my
You've
life.
never met me at all.
Fun fact is Aminee was our first YouTube guest and our first podcast guest.
How about
Which is
that?
crazy.
First special guest.
That's a title. I think
She's
you get like a
Very,
plaque.
yes.
I think I should.
Yeah.
like
a
hang up on the
trophy.
wall or something.
We'll engrave something.
First, I was here.
I was here first. I
This is mine.
flag.
this, I have planted my flag. This is my territory, first ever. Nobody else can have that.
Well, hey, Aminee, let's talk a little bit about you. What's been going on in your school life? Let's just catch us up on what's been going on with your life.
Well, let me tell you. So I go to school at UW Stevens Point. This is going to be my second year coming up in the fall. Rooming with my bestie Rachel. Shout out to Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Hope she watches this.
I hope
Hello.
so.
I work full-time hours at Firehouse Subs. I'm a manager.
Ooh.
This is,
Yes, manager salary right here.
yeah.
Round of applause.
I've never been there, but it sounds like it'd be such good food.
I'll get you a discount.
I don't even get a discount.
You don't order food.
You,
That-
you
that could
just
be a
eat ice
problem.
cream, man.
Right. I'm all.
Yeah, we're
I'm
just all ice cream
I'm on the
today.
ice cream train today.
Yep.
What do you study right now? Is there anything specific, or is it just all over the place?
You know, a lot of it's gen eds right now, but I started in education. I was going to be a teacher, and I decided not to go that route, and I'm doing business now. So here I
What are you
am involved in
thinking-
your business.
What do you think? Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. I'm feeling commitment.
Employee.
I'm hearing someone who wants to join.
Not like I'm not already a part of
Right.
it.
Literally. Quite.
I
Literally.
could, no, this isn't. I'm not trying to be gender specific,
Let's hear it.
but I can see a beauty channel, like makeup reviews. Like I can see just all these companies like, hey, this person, I want their opinion on my makeup.
Is that your kind of thing, Aminee?
I will give anyone's opinion to anyone who wants to give me free things.
That's the mindset.
That is an excellent mindset.
I
Thank
think
you.
everybody would want to be
We're-
right there at that point.
Exactly.
We're
That's
jumping
the
into a little
goal.
bit of Aminee's brain here. Speaking of what you like to do, what are some of your hobbies? What are you up to recently? What do you indulge in?
I have been reading the Harry Potter series recently.
This is true.
I'm finishing it. I'm on the last book right now. It's
How
getting
is it?
heated.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Tina, you've read them all, right?
I have read, yes, all of the Harry Potter books.
I have not.
thoughts and
Amazing.
opinions?
I know some people think, the books are better than the
Here we
movies,
go.
and certain books are better than the movies. I just don't think Harry Potter is
you
one of
read
them.
Harry Potter?
I have read Harry Potter,
This
some
is a
of
guy
them.
who hasn't watched Star Wars, man.
Yeah.
Can we trust his opinion?
Yeah.
No.
Not really,
He hasn't
but
watched Star Wars. I don't know how much of an opinion Ryan gets.
I have only seen the bloopers of like the stormtrooper hitting his head on the door.
That's not even a blooper. That is in the movie, man.
Yeah, well, technically, he did it wrong, so it's a blooper.
Ah,
I have
man.
a question about Harry Potter then. So what is
Okay.
your favorite movie and what's your favorite book?
My favorite movie, it goes back and forth between Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire.
Mm.
Those are good ones. And I think my favorite book I think it keeps changing. Like every time I read a new one, it becomes my favorite. But I think the 5th or 6th one might be my favorite.
We'd have to ask you after you finish the 7th.
Yes, we'll get there.
Afterwards.
You're right.
I feel like the Goblet of Fire always scared me as a kid.
Why?
Is that the one where they go into like the labyrinth?
Yeah, the
Yes.
maze.
And
yeah.
then like he has 2 head like faces. You know what I'm talking about? Is that?
is
Am I making something up?
I
That's
think
the
that
first film.
you-
Mixed
I think you're mixing two
Yeah.
different movies.
That one scared me. It was the Two-Face guy.
The first
Okay.
one. That was Professor
Sorcerer's
Quirrell
Stone.
and
that makes more sense.
Voldemort
Yeah.
formed into one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've kind of talked a little bit about Aminee's relationship to Glimpse. I am her boyfriend. 5 years. Going on 5 years.
Woo.
Right?
Great.
We're going on 6.
Going on 5. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, that's a little embarrassing.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I'll take it.
I
back.
Yeah,
Clapper.
undo the claps. If you guys want to check out Aminee on social media, you go see your Instagram link down in the bio below. She's got great posts there. She's beautiful. She's kind. So many great things to see on her
Thank
pages. Thanks for
you.
being here.
Thank you.
And now we're just gonna grill you with a bunch of questions because
Yeah.
you are our guest. We need to know a lot about you.
These people
All
don't
right.
know who you are. We know who you are.
right now they need to learn.
Our one guy in Italy
Yeah.
told you this,
would
right?
love to
No.
know.
We have a concurrent viewer from Italy.
I think it's.
And Italy?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
Specifically or how many. I think it's concurrent viewers.
We have multiple concurrent
it's-
viewers
They're
from Italy
It's a
multiplying.
group of people, I believe,
For me?
if I read it correctly.
for our YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
for me though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for you right
You think they're
now.
on your Instagram?
I hope
For
so.
sure. Yeah. Can you imagine?
When they go check you out, then they will be.
If you are a listener from Italy, please comment on my next Instagram post.
That's
I
what
need
we
to hear
said. We
from
said,
you.
please give us let's
Yeah.
talk.
Like, we'll
Just
send
love.
you
Just DM
stuff.
them. I just want to talk to you.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
absolutely.
That's so cool.
Well, hey, we're gonna start with the questions.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Being someone who's closest to you, there's this one very specific thing that you love and do not stop talking about, and those things are called zodiac signs.
Yes. That is the
How
one
did you get into
thing.
zodiac signs?
Well, see. In middle school,
Yeah.
as everyone does, they go on Instagram and you find like these Instagram posts. They're like, oh, like what your zodiac sign says about you and whatever. And it's all like some silly stuff that you want to just know for fun. And so I was like, I wonder what mine is, and branched out from there. And this year in specific, I have been getting into like the whole chart and what it means. And that's one of my first questions that I now ask people when I meet them.
Oh, what's your zodiac sign?
Yep.
And like rising.
Is-
Rising moon, what do you have?
Yeah.
Is
What do we
zodiac
got?
signs basically just the stars like alignment, or I don't know anything about
Yeah,
it.
I don't.
It's
I'm
like
not
astrology,
informed
I don't-
on-
Yes.
Yes.
Well, what is it, Aminee?
Let me tell you. And for the viewers or listeners who know more than I do, and if I get something wrong, don't blame me. I'm learning. Please
Yeah, we're
tell
not
me.
pros
tell
at
me.
anything.
Except having a podcast.
Facts.
Number one.
But zodiacs, they are a part of astrology. So it's basically where all the planets and stars kind of line up at the time of your birth, at the place of your birth. So for example, I am an Aquarius sun, a Pisces moon, and a Leo rising.
I thought you could only be one thing.
Based on the stars
Based
I
on
thought you could
stars,
only be one
planets,
thing.
Planets.
and planets. Sorry,
Planets,
planets.
the degrees of where they are, things like that.
And you've been doing charts for people, other
It's
people.
super fun. I like to make PowerPoints for my friends.
Yo, my mind is blown right now. I thought, okay, for the longest time, I thought I was a Capricorn, but then I recently figured out in the last year that I was an Aquarius,
I'm an Aquarius too.
but I didn't know it was called Aquarius sun or Pisces moon. I thought it was just Aquarius.
Well, I'm gonna have to do a chart for you then.
I can
Yeah.
do a chart for
How do
everyone.
you figure that out?
Okay. For your sun sign, that's pretty easy. It's your birthday. Easy stuff. You get into the rest of it, and it's like the time and place of your birth, and that's how you find your moon and your rising, which all have different meanings for you. So most people who don't know astrology or have limited
Yeah.
knowledge in it just know their sun sign, which is fine. But there's other parts of it that I think is important too.
And you've been doing these PowerPoints for many people.
Yeah.
And recently, you talked to me about wanting to know more about our friends from West Bend,
Yeah.
and you put it in the group chat, asked for them for their like place, time of birth, where, and things like that. And they really hopped on that train.
They did. They like tell me everything about me. Tell me all my deep dark
Yes,
secrets.
they
my
wanted to know
relationships.
everything at that moment.
I am still learning, everyone. We need to take a
Even
step
when
back.
I would go places, they would come up to me and ask me, almost every single one of them asked me, hey, is Ami done with that yet?
Oh my
Is
god.
Are
Ami
you
ready for
charging
this?
people to
She
do
should.
that?
You know, I
You
should.
should.
Yes.
Honestly. Because if you're getting that many people, and it's not like it's a small thing, people do full on believe in this stuff.
Yeah.
So you should 100% charge people for like, hey, I will tell you what you are. I just need simple information from you, and you will know just what you are depending on the stars, the planets.
I
Just
mean, it is a job.
oh yeah,
People do that for
you make a
work.
bank from that.
Astrologers.
Well,
They are
Legit.
much more knowledgeable than I am so
Yes.
far.
in your opinion, like I don't know what like the signs like tell you. I know like what's like the basic one called like
The
just
sun
like
sign.
the sun sign.
Yeah.
I know that can tell you like you know feel like these type of emotions and stuff like that. Do you think they relate really well? Like, you know, I figure everything out. This like actually is you, or like how close do you think it is?
Yeah. So there's a good portion that I think is actually accurate, and I know that sun sign itself is not always perfect because there's deeper things. Like the moon sign tells you about how you deal with emotions and how you kind of feel them and think about them. So I'm a Pisces moon, which means that I'm more emotional than I actually take in. My rising sign is a Leo, which means I'm very outwardly confident. That's how people kind of perceive me right away and what I let them see.
Yeah.
I have an Aquarius Mercury, which is the same as my sun. And that kind of tells with how I deal with like talking to people and like arguments. So Aquarius tends to be very distant, and that's kind of like I feel things like my Pisces moon, but I can't express it because of my Aquarius Mercury kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it
So-
usually does when people tell me I go, wow, that makes sense. And usually Scorpios go, oh no, you're just lying to me. And then they
Yeah.
get really mad, which is a
They
very
have-
Scorpio
They
thing.
have trust issues.
Yeah,
They-
I've seen
Maybe.
I've seen tweets from people talking about like if you are XYZ or like I don't know what like signs specifically they like go to, but I've seen people talk about like, oh, if you're a Scorpio, don't even talk to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
away from me, don't even try to talk to me.
Yeah. There's a lot of signs that I do not like and stay
Yeah.
away from. And there's a lot that I do like.
Such as cancers.
I like Cancers.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone.
My best friend, my boyfriend.
Right, everyone close to you in your life. Well, hey, we did talk about you doing those PowerPoints for your friends. You did those PowerPoints when you were at school in Stevens Point.
Yeah.
How do you think your school experience went overall? I mean, with COVID and everything, things were very different, very special, unique to this year. How did you take it all in?
I think a lot of people did not like the whole online learning thing and felt like it was a really tough time for them. But I'm a very independent learner. So I think that having the time to do things on my own without having to see people and go anywhere I didn't want to, it was a lot easier for me. And I think that I really enjoyed it. And I would love to continue to do it. However, people want to get back to it.
And I think a
So-
lot of people that are in school relate to that and are very much similar in that way of thinking. And I think that kind of colleges are learning to incorporate that virtual world as well as have classes in person. They're integrating it into their normal curriculum. I think, I'm not sure if all schools are doing that. I know
Yeah.
Green Bay is still doing it next semester. Stevens Point's doing a few next semester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing hybrids, they're doing in person, they're
Okay.
doing online.
I've seen videos of people like on the smart board and they're just on their cam and then there's people actually in school and it's
Oh,
the
weird.
teacher sitting in between.
I have seen that as well. That's strange to me.
I can't see that working.
If you're gonna do one, you should do the other.
Right. To sort of hone in on a specific point, do you have like a school experience that you just remember always? Like when you think of school, this is the moment that you think about, and that's the moment that you're not going to forget about.
Yeah, usually I think of the one that it's the first time that I met my two guy friends at school. Me and Rachel love ice cream. She's lactose intolerant, but I was
want to hear
excited.
the word ice cream. Man.
Bleep out the word.
But we heard the bleep truck.
Okay.
and and so we went to look outside the window to find it because this is like the second time it's gone by. And so we were looking out the window, we're talking to each other like, where is it? Where is it? And this voice from like downstairs, like we can hear like another voice from another room. They go, did you guys hear that too? And we're like, Yeah.
This is at school?
Yeah. We're just talking from like different rooms. Like we can hear each other.
What grade was this?
Oh, this is just last semester.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
I'm thinking
just
like this
happened.
is elementary, like
Oh, that too.
like the bathrooms, you know how they were connected? It's like, hey, you guys hear that? It's the ice cream man.
and then you guys went to their room and
Oh well, we wanted to talk to them,
Yeah.
but we get anxious, and also they were guys, so that adds a different component.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
so Rachel was like, "Oh, like we have these chips. Do you want to come get some?" Because we didn't want it.
y'all want
And
chips?
they're like, "Yeah, we'll
Hey,
come
guys, you
over."
want some chips?
They're like, "Yeah,
guys
we'll come
say that.
over." And so we're like, "Well, actually, maybe not." And they're like, "No, we're coming. Where you live?" I was like,
Ooh.
"Rachel, Rachel." She's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Come to this room." And they came to this room and they ate our chips and sat down and we talked to them and now we're besties. So
Hey, that's how relationship
Yeah,
starts.
It's
though.
crazy.
Wonderful. Good for you guys. I'm glad
thank
that
you.
happened to
Thank you. Thank you.
So, we would like to ask you about your dream, like vacation spot. If you had like
I better
any
take
money,
notes, boys.
any money
Yeah.
in the world, where, and what would you want to do?
There's so many good options. A lot of them I would probably go visit like the place that they filmed like Mamma Mia and things.
That's in Greece, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to go there cuz I want to experience that lifestyle.
hmm That would be very cool.
Thank you.
I'll pay for it. I promise. I got you.
Hey,
I'll take
it's
it.
recorded. It's recorded. Everybody,
Wait.
Take this clip. Hold on to that.
And so let's say you take a dream vacation instead to a private island.
Okay.
You can't come back.
So it's not a vacation.
I suppose not.
This is a one-way trip.
Okay, sorry. You're stranded on an island then.
Okay.
You need to take. You're a book fan. You
Yeah.
like books, like reading. You need to take 3 books, and you only take 3 books. These are the books you're reading for the rest of your days. What 3 books are you taking to this abandoned island?
You know, I'm still going through my list of books. I have a surplus of
is
books on my
true.
list, which I haven't been able to get to because of my
Harry Potter.
series right now. My friend Bethany from college, I would look to her and she would give me 3 books.
So she'll tell you.
She would tell me what to bring.
Text her right now.
Do you think I should?
Yes, and then if she gets back in time, we'll put it at the end of the video.
Okay, we'll do.
End of the podcast, and we'll see what she says.
She is a book fanatic.
We appreciate that. Bethany, get back to us. We'll see what she says. We'll trust her sayings, whatever she says. I guess then going to the big group here at the tables, we have a very interesting topic to talk about, all 4 of us. And it's something that goes back to our earliest days. What are the earliest memories that we can remember from our lives?
ever,
Ever.
like the first ever memory that you can remember having.
I saw this on TikTok as well. Like people are like, when did you first spawn in? What's like the first memory of like, oh wait, like this is me, you know, like
Yo,
what's the first, you know, like time that you actually have consistent memories and
Yeah.
not just like little blips of life.
Yeah.
Oh.
the idea of people who like talk in game lingo just freaks me out. That just shows like how addicted they are. Like saying what you said, like,
Spawned.
when was the first time you spawned in? What? No, it's
me?
when was the first time you like were born?
We're gonna
is the
respawn.
question.
Consciousness
Okay, that's
came
not the
to
same
be.
Yeah.
thing though. It's not when you. That's not the first time you were born. It's the first time like you started creating consistent memories.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a.
I think
better
I
word
have that
than
moment in my
spawn,
head.
But
What is it?
My first moment, I think I can go back to earliest I could remember, and then things kind of started playing out after that, was when I broke my nose when I was 2.
Oh,
I
you
was
have one at 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I
Holy
thought I broke my
crap.
nose when I was 3.
would.
I was 2 years old. I was sitting on the arm of a couch. And I was trying to jump off because I was like, some cool action Power Ranger. Like, hey mom, watch this. I go to jump off.
Goo goo gaga.
I go to jump off, and my foot gets stuck in the couch cushion and the arm, and I go nose first into the corner of a coffee table.
Ooh.
yeah.
It didn't feel good. I remember looking up to my mom like just like tears in my eyes. Like,
What happened?
what happened?
That blows my mind that you remember a memory at 2 years old.
I think it was so traumatic, and that's why.
Yeah.
You know,
Landed flat on my face and broke my nose.
can I discuss one of the first memories I have of meeting you?
Sure. do I want
Oh,
to hear
no.
this?
You know this one. Well, we were in 7th grade.
Yeah.
I had just transferred from private to public school.
Yeah,
Frankie was in my English class.
this is true. She had a horrible haircut.
Moving on.
Oh my.
This'll top it, so I don't care. So Frankie was in the other room. We were filming these short videos for class, like on books.
I know what this is.
And this girl comes into the classroom that I was in, and she goes, "Teacher?" And Frankie broke his arm. And we're like, "What? He did not. He was just in the room."
You did have a broken arm.
Seventh grade.
Wow.
You want to discuss how that happened?
So we were, I was a goofball in
Sure.
7th grade, and we were off recording our little snippets for our books that we had to read for 7th grade English class. And the group was like figuring out, what are we going to record? What are we going to do? Like, who's going to direct this? What are we going to do? I'm over there, like on the off the side, like standing on top of a chair, just walking on chairs. Next thing I know, chair flips off from under me, lands flat on my arm, and everyone's looking at me. I was like, I just broke my arm, guys.
Guys, I need help.
I literally laughed. I was like, guys, I broke my arm. I didn't know what to do.
You're just in shock. It's like, guys, actually, it's starting to hurt now.
They looked at me like, nah, no, you didn't. I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
it's my arm. I'm pretty sure I know.
Broken.
That
That
was a
was
good one.
very embarrassing.
Keaton, do you? Oh, you were still going on with.
Oh
that.
no, you're
Sorry.
good. Keaton, let's hear about you.
Earliest memory.
Again, like I have blips of just like, memories here and there. Like we moved around a little bit, house to house. So I know, like I'll have blips of like, hey, that's what that house looked like, stuff like that. Otherwise, like I would think the first. It's hard to place in your head like the first continuous memory of like when you, again, spawn in.
Something like that.
It would
When
have
you
to
flip
be.
your brain on.
It would have to
So,
be
on and off switch.
the last house I lived at,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I just remember being in a crib, not like the small ones, like the ones that you can like actually like stand around in a little bit,
Yeah.
and just watching like TV. I just remember that, and my dad standing like 3 or 4 feet away, and he's just watching it as well.
This just
So it
shows.
must have been like football or something because he was standing up.
Yeah.
But
This
I
just
think that was like the
shows
first continuous.
that
one.
your brains are more developed than mine.
Buddy, we already knew that.
When did you start?
I have a memory from when I was 4, like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the earliest one. I was out in my front yard, which I still live at today,
Mm-hmm.
and I was sitting in a lawn chair under a tree, and I was perfectly in the shade. I remember the lawn chair and everything. I had neighbors across the street,
Yeah.
and they were playing in a sprinkler outside, and it was 4 kids and a sister,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to go over there and play with them because it's just like I'm just this random kid just sitting watching. And they asked if I could come over and play. And my mom and dad were like, yeah, you can go over there and play. And I remember getting on my bathing suit and going over there and playing in the sprinkler. That was the first ever memory
That's awesome, though.
that I remember
That's
having.
a
that's a-
sweet
that's a
memory.
pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
4 or 5. You guys are talking about
2 years.
2 years old,
He's in a crib.
freaking headbutting a table.
I think I'm with you, Ryan. I don't think I remember anything until I was like 8.
Well, speaking of sprinklers, I remember one morning before school, like in elementary school, like my brother Max and I went outside and played in the sprinkler and got all wet,
Yeah.
and then went inside and got ready for school.
Really?
How we did that, I don't know, but we did.
Wow.
Hey, want to go on the sprinkler?
Go go sprinkler.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Your favorite memory, your earliest memory from when you were 8 years old?
No, I really don't know. I know that one time we had before my dog Jake, we had Sawyer.
Yeah.
This little dog. And I think we were eating like Hershey Kisses or something. The wrappers are
boy.
all over.
Oh boy.
I don't know if that's relevant, but that's at least what I remember.
That's all you remember?
Hey, give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay.
But then Caden, who is pretty young at the time,
Your brother.
my brother, he's younger than me. He like maybe pulled at the dog's ear or something,
Yeah.
and it snapped at him, and he had to get stitches like in his eyebrow.
The dog bit him.
I think so. Or maybe it was his
Jeez.
eye. Maybe I scratched his eyebrow. It could have been one of the two.
You scratched his eyebrow?
You know, it's all a blur.
You
And-
had claws.
I did have claws. That was my weapon of choice. I was talking about this with Rachel
Jeez.
yesterday.
Nice.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Thank you.
That is playing a sprinkler. I scratched your brother's eye out.
You know, whatever you choose.
Two different sides of the spectrum. What?
Different walks of life.
Hey, we don't judge. We all judge. We welcome all earliest memories. And I know this is kind of going into our next topic here. Who watched iCarly as a kid?
Of course.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Exactly. And I was trying to think what can come after this segment after we talk about our earliest memories. Memories from being a kid. We watched iCarly. Was
Favorite
the-
memory of iCarly? Do you remember a scene?
I was just going to
So
go into that.
many.
I don't know if we can all do one, but
Oh yeah.
Brother Max and I were talking down here, and he said something like, "I'll pay you for it." And I remember this one scene in iCarly. I don't remember what scene it is, but it's Spencer going, "I'll pay you for it," and she said something.
Really?
I think it was when she's trying to get the pie recipe. Maybe.
Oh, yeah,
and
you're
she's
right,
like,
you're right.
"No, I want to make out with you," and he's like,
I'll pay you for it.
"I'll pay you for it." That's like, yes, that was so
good.
funny.
I remember spaghetti tacos.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like with what was it? Carly trying to put the stick through the tacos.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was like, this is not gonna work. And then I forget his name. Do we remember his name? The guy who like owned the shop and could do it?
I do.
It's
T-Bone.
T-Bone.
Tebow.
T-Bone, not T-Bone.
T-Bone.
T-Bone's sick.
But he was like, it's easy, look. And then just like, you can't do this? Like, that was, yeah, I remember that from my
Well, yeah, iCarly. This whole point of this conversation is iCarly is coming back to Paramount Plus on its
Yeah.
streaming service. Whole new series, iCarly, back in the old apartment, old
Right.
characters,
Yeah.
Except
minus
for,
Jeanette McCurdy,
yeah.
For reasons.
for valid reasons.
Great reasons. yeah.
But I'm so pumped.
I'm so
I'm sad it's
excited.
on Paramount Plus. I can't really watch it. I have to buy that one streaming service for that one show.
Right.
But
Worth it.
absolutely,
I'm a little disappointed because usually when shows get a rerun and a revamp, it's not the same.
I get
But
you.
Yeah.
you still feel that nostalgia feeling, like Full House and Fuller House.
Yeah.
Like they did have most of like the people that played in Full House,
Yeah.
but the people that you remember like was Michelle,
Yeah.
like
Michelle.
in Fuller House.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
was.
No, she wasn't in Fuller House. She was in Full House. She was
Okay.
not there. You're right.
That, like that person, like she's an iconic character. Like
Exactly.
you got it, dude. Like you just need that for a revamp of a show.
I agree.
They tried.
I think without Sam or Jeanette McCurdy there being like that one character that nobody messes with, that's gonna change a lot.
And who knows? I mean, I think Jeanette McCurdy's made it very clear she does
She's
not want
not
to come
coming
back to the
back.
show.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
and I totally respect that. I don't know, things change sometimes, but I have nothing really to say to that. I can't judge.
I think it's a really good topic though. With like, we have these classic shows that a lot of people adore, like iCarly, Full House. We have the Friends reunion that happened.
I
Yeah,
still
that's
need to
true.
watch that.
I wonder if this is going to be like a new wave of just reboots. You know,
we can't
Probably.
make anything
A lot
else
of it
good. Let's
is.
go back to what we
yeah,
did.
like
Yeah.
we're getting a lot of that right now. And if like, okay, let's say iCarly also does well, then what? Like maybe another show is going to be like, yeah, we'll do it for a season. We'll do it for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
yeah.
That's
it would be crazy to see the amount of not recycled because it's still new, but like almost like refurbished compared to just like full on new content.
Right.
yeah, that's
exactly.
actually something that's been happening a lot recently.
Mm.
Is that like things like Disney is not producing new movies; they're doing live actions. They're doing
Yeah, they're
takes
just
on
remaking old
Cruella,
stuff.
you know,
Yeah.
things like that they've already done.
Right.
It seems like we passed on from the COVID pandemic, and now we're on the recycling movies pandemic.
All right. Let's actually get some new ideas flowing, guys.
Right.
Old stuff won't last forever, though we all love it.
But there, I don't know if you guys have seen this video, surfing the internet, but it was Ariana Grande, right?
Yeah.
Just to go back to like the old shows, I think it was Victorious with
love
the
Victorious as a kid.
yeah,
So good.
they're like in high school and they could customize their locker or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there's like a scene in Victorious that, or what was her name? Kat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kat and some other character. It was like the nerd and he had like
Robbie.
the curly hair,
Robbie.
Robbie. And they had like a line in between, like just talking to each other. But recently on concert, Ariana Grande invited this character, I don't know his actual name, but Robbie
Matt.
to
His
Matt
name's Matt.
something.
Matt, where he plays guitar,
Yep.
and they redid a voice line from
No
the show
way.
What
live
song-
on stage.
The
What
same
song is it?
concert, they also had Liz Gillies, who played Jade West,
I think so.
sing there. They did a song
That's
from
so
Victorious
cool.
too.
I like
Yeah,
that.
they
I have to
like
check that out
it
sometime.
was weird. It was just like all silent, and then all of a sudden like Ariana Grande started saying her line, and then he finished it. It was just going into the song. It was really cool to see.
awesome. That's
Aw,
awesome.
I love
Well, going forward here on the podcast script, we have a very special game to play.
Yeah.
It's called the hot seat game. Now, in the hot seat game, we ask each other questions. All three of us will ask this one person a question, and if they answer that question truthfully, you get off clean. But if you refuse to answer the question, you have to do a punishment. We don't know what that punishment is. Perhaps it's eating more ice cream,
Okay.
because that would clearly be the biggest punishment possible at this very moment. Who wants to go first? Who wants to be on the hot seat first? Should be our guest.
I'll do it.
Sure.
All right.
She
Give
does
me
have the
what you
flames.
got.
I'll go first. I'll ask a question first.
Oh, no.
Aminee,
Okay.
what is... This is tough. You have to think of like a
Yeah,
question on
thinking
the
of
spot.
questions is
Yeah.
actually pretty difficult.
Like
What do
an
you wanna know
embarrassing
about me?
question.
Let's hear it.
Hmm.
I got one.
Brian, go first
Okay.
then.
During high school,
Uh-huh.
did you have one person that you could just point out right now that you hated, despised?
Oh gosh.
You hear
Name
this
dropping
person,
someone.
you hear this person's name, and you're just like,
I can't name drop, but yes, there was a good few.
you don't need to say their name, but we could bleep it. But you don't have
No.
to say their name. Almost like, okay, I guess give that memory.
Will the person know who it is if you give the memory?
Well, then they probably knew that they were, bad person.
Oh, this could
be honest.
be tough, man. This could go a lot of
There
different
was
ways.
there was a good few. A lot of them I didn't dislike until, like even like the end of high school or the middle of it, or even now. I started to dislike them even more.
Maybe I should just eat the ice cream.
He didn't say I had to name anyone,
No, you don't have to name anyone.
but he asked if I did, and I do have people that I did not like.
Okay,
All right.
that's fair.
Thank you.
Hey, you got enemies. Everybody's got enemies.
Should we go over to my question?
Sure.
What's the name of that person?
That's against the rules. You can't do that.
You can't double down on a question?
No,
All
you
right.
have to be unique and original.
Okay. What is the grossest thing you've ever done in public?
Ew.
Socially unacceptable. Like you picked your nose and put it like on a bag of chips at the store. Or
That's
something.
disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. Like something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
You know, I pride myself on being publicly aware. As you know, I have anxiety
I do know that.
in stores. So I try not to do anything too weird or disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I think trying on shoes without socks is one of the worst things.
Fair.
Yeah,
that is
that's fair.
People,
Okay.
if people knew, they would like burn those shoes.
Yes. We won't tell which shoes they were or
No.
where they were from.
Random lottery.
Keaton, your
Um,
question.
Yeah, it's tough just thinking of something.
Something.
Yeah. I really don't know.
Ask about her personal life.
Because the hot seat's supposed to be like, this is like suspenseful.
Right.
Yeah.
I can distract the camera while you think.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so one time, Ryan and I.
Okay, I'm just
Okay.
gonna say one.
You won't
Thank God.
know.
This is kind of a two-person thing.
Okay.
But what is like the most embarrassing memory of like you and Frankie, let's say?
Together.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a lot, don't we?
We can't talk about
If it doesn't have to be the most
Oh.
embarrassing, if you just want to do like one, you know,
Yeah, they got one that they're just not sharing right now.
there's a lot stored in the bank. Yeah.
those ones aren't coming out of the
I
vault.
have one for you if you don't like that question.
No, we can answer this
No.
one. We can answer this one.
Okay.
But you have to answer it because it's your question.
I know. I have to think of one.
He's like, please.
One
Please
time,
not that one.
not that one. I would
Should've
not.
said. Don't worry, guys.
Well, in choir class, like freshman year, that one time, we had like just begun to date. We
I
just started
recall.
dating.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
And you know, when you first start dating and you're a freshman in high
You're
school,
literally 12, 13 years old.
I was 14. I don't know how old you were.
I was 13, I think.
Oh my god.
You were dating a 13-year-old.
What a stud.
Yeah.
He didn't even get paid for that. No, we were in choir class, and you know, Frankie's a very touchy-feely person, very
I had my
physically
arm around her,
affectionate,
okay?
Yeah.
In class.
As you do.
disgusting. And
Freshman,
so
okay? We didn't know what we were doing.
we were talking about going into like the upper choirs next year.
Which that's not appropriate because in the choir we were in, there was not a lot of expectations of us.
Yeah.
As you recall, you were in that choir.
It was awful. Everyone did everything they wanted.
Right.
But we got called out
But
for
yes,
being physically affectionate, which is fair.
which is very fair.
That nobody would want to see that.
Yes.
I hate that.
I do regret a lot of the things I did in the past.
Oh yeah.
That
I don't remember this happening.
Good. Perfect.
It was the
I
worst.
understand, like, some people
was
just
thinking
don't
that.
want to see it
Yeah.
to an extent, but putting your arm around somebody, that's the lowest of low.
Can I do it to you? Just say how close I was.
Yeah, do it.
Sure.
Okay. I was probably like in the here. You
That-
know?
Or like maybe arm around
For
the
somebody
waist.
to be like,
but
hey,
I'm not gonna-
what are you
I
doing?
mean,
Like,
even high school, I don't think anybody cared.
The Andrew thing.
Oh, okay.
That
That,
one's
that
funny.
was very funny.
I'll-
We'll
that
talk
would be
about that
my-
when Andrew's
That would be my
here.
question. Anyway,
Anyway, who wants to go in the hot seat next? Great job, Omni, answering all your questions.
Thank
Ryan
you.
would like to go on the hot seat. I have a question.
yeah.
Just in your head,
Well, there we go.
what is the most wild thing you've ever thought about?
Oh.
Because you think of some wild things. We talked about this last podcast. What is like one of the craziest things that's ever come across your mind? Stay over here.
Just in general,
Yes.
the idea of gravity malfunctioning.
Oh,
Just
oh,
you
like
scared her.
interesting.
almost like if
What?
you okay, so gravity, you know, has a specific number,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you were to go one up of gravity, like 0.1, right? You could either explode, or if you go -1, you could implode. Can you just imagine
Yeah,
that?
you're thinking about this. I'm trying to figure out what ice cream flavor I'm gonna have for dinner, man.
That is a very Aquarius thought.
Yeah.
May I point
Like
out?
if you okay, this is never going to happen in a million years, but if gravity did change in any direction, you could implode or explode.
That is very crazy. That is wild. Who's got the next question for our guys?
Keith,
I have
do you
more,
have
but
one
that
this
was just
time?
one of them.
I want you to be dead honest with
Okay.
us. When you say something, like just like out of the blue, random, like when we play Warzone,
Mhm.
if you don't know, we play Warzone, trios, you know, we do some video gaming.
Gang.
When you say something completely random, is it like a process joke, like, hey, I'm gonna say this and then see
There-
if I get a reaction?
Yeah.
Or is it like it just shot out
No
of the
filter.
brain, like, booyah, I just
I
need to say
think
this.
10% of the time I figure out what my joke is before I say it.
10%.
So
and
there's like
then
90%.
There is a
where it's
90% chance where I'm just like, hey, yo, this, that. And it's just like,
It's just coming out.
yeah, because for some reason my mind works around like, how can I be the funniest way possible in this scenario? And then I just say it. It doesn't, I don't
So you
have
do
a
think
filter.
about it a little bit.
Right, that 10% is trying to filterize what I say.
Okay.
But,
All right.
but there's still 90% of just like, this is like
Of
random.
just garbage.
It's garbage.
Okay. Well,
All right.
yeah, that's all I wanted to know.
Omni, your question for Ryan.
All right, Ryan. Out of these people sitting at this table,
Oh, no.
who would you most want to room with?
Oh, my
Like for
God.
like, you know, like a good couple years.
That's fair.
Or if you don't want to answer, not to change your question or anything,
You're good.
if you want to answer it like that, then you can. But maybe like what's some like pros and cons.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let's just hear it.
Keep in mind, we're running out of time.
Yeah. So if I were in a room with Frankie, I think what would have to change
I shed, by the way.
is no. What would have to change is sometimes, now not all the time, you have these ADD spurts,
You're very right.
and you
I'm the
will,
worst roommate. I'm not
you-
even kidding.
You will say things that just have no meaning to, and just like, hey, your mom, big boy, like what are you doing? Stop. That has no meaning to what we're talking
Very
about.
true.
I feel like that would be the only con.
And I think I'm a little bit controlling sometimes.
Very little in my eyes. Very little.
I can imagine like Ryan asking like, "Hey, should I make you some eggs? Like I'm making some eggs. You want some?"
Your mom.
Like,
Or like, hey, rent's due in like a couple days. Do you have like the rent for?
Stir
Go
fry.
ask your mom. Like, but I feel like some pros would be like you do like whenever you have your mindset set on something, you will get it done.
Aw.
Like you have like okay, you went to college and you had to dorm. Like that was probably your first ever experience out of
Yes,
house and just
yes.
living. Mastered it just like that. It
I
was
tried.
and like things happen. You came back. It was just
Right.
like you adapt super quick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
But for Keaton, I would say a con.
but for Keaton, nothing.
Best roommate ever.
I would say a con for Keaton. I do think you are to yourself a lot, so you do need your space. So if we were to room together, I'm the complete opposite. Like if I'm bored, I'm going in your room and bothering you. Like,
I'm
and I
gonna
feel
roll
like
on you.
I feel like you do need your space, and that's just the complete opposite.
Is that a very Gemini thing?
Is it Aminee?
Give me your moon sign, please.
Give me your moon sign, please.
But I would
Next time.
But I would
Next
say for a pro, you're very tidy. Like I feel like the apartment would be spick and span clean.
So who you picking?
Probably Keaton.
Fair. That's okay.
That's fair.
That's okay. All right.
You live next door.
I live next
then you
door.
come over.
I mean, yeah, perfect.
So that
Me and Frank will
Perfect.
be in the apartment next door.
Right. All right. So who's on hot seat next? You or me?
I'll go.
Okay. Who's got a question? Who wants to go first? I can go first.
Can we speed
Sure.
round?
Sure.
Yeah, speed round. Keaton, what's the most annoying thing about me?
I would have. It's kind of off
goes-
the grind as well. Yeah, let me just start listening. No, I would say
Which one?
it's sometimes like the ADHD, like just kind of outspurt. If we're playing Warzone for like 6 hours or whatever, and it's like we get
We're
in the
losing our
rut-
mind, and you're just like, "Yo, guys, it's fine." Like,
Yeah,
poo
that
poo pee
too.
pee. Like,
Like if we're playing and it's like either the game's just not going our way, but then you'll just be like, God, it's fine. But then the next like 30 seconds, you'll be like, your mom dropping in, stuff like that. I would say that's probably the only
Not
bad
wrong.
thing I would say to be
That's fair. That's fair. Moving on. Aminee's question.
So from that, which one is the better gamer?
oh yeah,
She didn't
please,
say that.
let me hear this.
All right,
Getting all the
listen up,
tea today.
guys. Listen up.
You could eat ice cream.
Get some
You
pros.
Oh,
Get some
I'm not
pros and
eating ice
cons in there.
Trust.
Speed round.
I'd have to say it depends on the game. Let me make that clear. Depends on the
fair,
game.
Fair.
If we were gonna talk Fortnite back in the day, Ryan I think beats anyone. If we're talking COD, I think Frankie is better at COD than Ryan.
Okay.
So I feel like you guys
love-
both
I love
have
you.
advantage.
I beg
you
to
know?
differ.
We
but-
always say, and this
Overwatch.
is
He's got Overwatch as well.
that's true. We
He's a
always say this,
beast.
and this is very true. Tim the Tatman clip. You're the anchor. I'm talking to Ryan.
Okay.
Ryan's the anchor, and it's true.
But
But he does like. There's every now and again where Ryan does pop off. Like
recently he
extreme.
has been, and I've been the anchor. I have
Yeah.
not been playing well.
Yeah, I'm
So
just
sometimes
passing the
it does
torch.
swap.
Right. That's what I'm afraid of.
So I would say overall for COD, generally is Frank. But
Okay.
Fortnite, Overwatch,
Sure,
I would give to Ryan.
I'll take two
Depends
games.
Game. Depends game. Perfect. I'll take 2 games.
take two.
And Minecraft, to be
Versus
fair.
one.
Okay, well,
All right, Ryan, your question.
I would say, give me. I want to know your most embarrassing memory that you can remember.
Mm.
Well, actually, no, I'm changing it. Worst injury. Worst injury.
Oh, okay.
Worst injury.
Oh, that's an easy one, right? Is that an
Well,
injury though?
I don't count that as an injury. What we were alluding to is I had
I
scoliosis.
Scoliosis.
Yeah, you have curvy spine, but that's all fixed now. Worst injury? I don't know. Like I haven't had like concussion. I haven't broken anything.
Oh, lucky guy over
Me
here.
neither, actually.
Me neither.
Yeah,
Loser.
so sorry, dude. It's just you.
I
Star
literally
Wars?
broke my back sitting in a chair and had to get surgery for
I
it.
might need surgery. We'll see.
Okay, since I don't really have like an injury, like I could say like I've scraped up like my legs and stuff
yeah.
from whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not that insane.
Wow. No
Um,
kidding.
I don't know. If you want a second question,
I mean, yeah, worst okay. Worst school memory.
Who's your least favorite
or
sibling?
school memory.
I'm just
What are you?
nothing.
I would say this. This is the first one that comes to mind. It's probably not even the worst, but just to be short on time. I think it was second grade, maybe Miss Heisendorf, or maybe it was third grade. At Fair Park, we had like the play fair or whatever, and it was like a group of people, and they set up like all of, like the stuff for recess and things like that. You have to go to like to a summer like camp to be a part of it, and then
Yeah.
you actually go. And once you get to school, then you get to do all that stuff.
Mhm.
So you leave like 10 minutes early from class, and we had a substitute that day.
Oh boy.
So we were supposed to leave 10 minutes early. And everybody's getting ready, they're packing up their stuff. And I start to pack up my stuff, and the substitute teacher's like, You're not in that. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And granted, I'm in second grade.
It's like bad to
Second
talk to a
grade?
teacher like that.
Well, but like, I'm in second grade, very emotional. Like, I could not control emotions well early on. So she's like, You're not in that club. And I'm like, Yeah, I am. And I'm like, to the group of people that are already ready, they're like, Yeah, he's in. He's like,
I
No,
can hear
you're
Tiny Keith.
like,
I'm
you're staying. And it's like, but I need to leave. So I start crying right there. And she's like, she didn't know what to do. And then I left with the group of people, and the counselor like runs that entire thing. And I just like chilled in her office for a bit just to cool down. So I would say that's probably the worst one I can think of right now.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
All right, so to round off today's podcast, we're gonna throw me on the hot seat.
Okay.
Next one.
No Ryan's question topic today. I'm sorry, we're out of time.
Yeah.
All right, guys, hit me with your best questions. I'm ready. Pass. Pass. Can't ask me anything, apparently.
What is the worst fast food experience you've ever had?
This happened recently to me, actually.
Was it the one that we were all together?
No.
Okay.
I think I have to go with this one, just because it's the most recent I can remember it. I went to Taco Bell late at night. I was like, can I get a Crunchwrap Supreme with no tomatoes or sour cream?
As you do.
And can I get a Nachos Bel Grande, no tomatoes or sour cream? And can I get a Baja Blast Freeze? And they say, oh, the machine's broken right now. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. And it was like a 5-minute conversation at the window or at the machine when you're speaking to them. The man didn't understand that I didn't want sour cream and tomatoes. And
Extra sour cream and tomatoes?
Like, it didn't say it on the screen. It said, like, no sour cream, but then tomatoes still on there. And I said, hey, that's not changed yet. And they're like, oh, we'll take care of it for you. And I'm like, okay. Get my food later, tomatoes in both. And I'm like, dude, you had one job.
We'll get it fixed for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What was one of your worst theater experiences? Because there is a whole bunch.
One of my worst theater experiences?
Yeah. Or like times being involved in theater.
Like, specific time or like show overall?
Give me either or.
I'll give you specific time.
Okay.
I was really in the feels this one day. It was 8th grade, Treasure Island, and there was just one scene where I was just sleeping on a log, and like all the other people on stage were like captives. You remember this? He was in the show with me, and they were like captives and Aminee. Yes, but you weren't on the stage at the time, is why. But they're all sitting in a circle talking. The captives, the other people who I'm friends with, are all talking like in the middle of the stage, and I'm just sitting in my log, just sitting there. And I'm like in the fields. My great grandma passed away like the week before. Nothing had hit me yet. I was very stressed out, overwhelmed. I was just kind of in the fields. And then Talisha Wallace, Micaiah Wallace's mom, was helping with the show. Came and sat next to me. She's like, Frankie, you okay? And I'm like, no. And I started bawling.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I had to go outside, and it was cold, and I had this shirt on that had like holes in it, and there was one like perfectly on my left nipple, and my left nipple was cold, and I was crying. It was sad.
That
Didn't
sucks.
you break your
Yeah.
leg during that show? Was that show?
I didn't
Or
break
it
my
was
leg.
sprained? something like that, right?
No, I had to have a bandage of some because they were trying to figure. I was supposed to have a peg leg,
Okay.
and they were figuring out how I was gonna walk with it. So I didn't know how they're gonna wrap my
'Cause-
leg up or.
Mrs. Fordham assigned me and Malin to figure out how to
Yeah.
make the peg leg,
Yeah.
and that was shambles.
Yeah.
So it's a little tidbit.
We
right there.
figured it out. It went okay.
Yeah. I guess my question is, at what time did you figure out that like I was your friend, or like Ryan was your friend, or Aminee was your friend? Like,
All right, boys.
you know, like either like an instance, or if you just want like a date, time, you know.
I knew you and I knew each other since preschool. We were on the same team in like preschool soccer.
Team. Yep.
And then we just like seen each other in the hallways, bathroom, classroom, things like that throughout
It's like,
elementary
hey, I
school.
see you a lot. We should be friends.
Until second grade, we were in the same class, and that we really clicked. I can't name a specific date or time, but in second grade is when you and I really bonded and became close pals. Ryan and I became pals in fourth grade, and that kind of fizzled out until middle school, I feel like. And then in middle school, we got close again, and maybe it was fifth grade. I just remember, I think it was fifth grade.
I
don't know.
remember us three sort of like talking in elementary for a little bit, and then it sort of just weaned out.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's no specific moment with Ryan either. I remember going to your like fourth grade birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we like
Keaton-
hanged out in the basement.
Keaton was the limbo champ.
Yeah,
I
that was
remember
actually a
that.
very fun day. And then Aminee, you were next to me in class, in English class, 7th grade. And I was like, okay, this girl's new. I don't know her. She's kind of pretty. What do I do?
Even with my awful haircut.
It was horrible.
So bad.
And then I had to hold your hand for one of those like trailers we were talking about before.
Yeah.
And you were just kind of like an associate in theater until 8th grade. In social studies, you sat in front of me,
Yeah.
and I had a crush on you,
Oh.
even though I had a girlfriend. I'm sorry.
I was a homewrecker.
I'm trying to think.
And you
who
had a
that could have
boyfriend.
been.
I did have a boyfriend.
Those are like middle school relationships. They don't count though. Right?
I guess.
We feel the same.
I suppose.
Okay.
I had a middle
Okay.
school thing.
They
It
help.
was like-
They help you.
Yeah.
I think they help you mold yourself
Yeah.
in a little bit at least.
Agreed.
But I knew I had a crush on you in 8th grade, but I still didn't know you very well. And then we just kind of, I don't know, got to know each other better freshman year, and now we're here. And that's my experience with all of you.
Oh.
Thanks for being here today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All these experiences have led us up to this moment.
Look at this. Who'd have thought?
Look at that.
Not me.
Thank you, Paul Rudd.
Me.
Well, let's give a round of applause for Aminee, our special guest today. We appreciate you being here. Great job.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for listening to the Catch a Glimpse podcast. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. Check out our Instagram, TikTok. You can see us anywhere you want, pretty much. But if you guys did enjoy this podcast, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one a week from now. Keaton, Ryan, Aminee. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.